Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my Night of Champions 2025 predictions. I currently am recording this right after SmackDown, so I saw the whole entire SmackDown, so unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to predict the SmackDown title matches because I know who won, I know the outcomes of them. However, I will still be able to predict the actual Night of Champions card that is happening tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, so I kind of got to get this done and edited as quickly as possible. That being said, I don't want to waste any more time on the intro. Let's get right into the match card. Starting with the first match I have here in Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Now, this is a match that I feel like was kind of a replacement of the obvious, AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio Intercontinental Championship match. Now, I feel like this is probably like the best place to put it, just for the fact that I don't see this getting on any other card, and it probably would not even have gotten on this final card if it wasn't for Dominic Mysterio being injured and unable to compete against AJ Styles. So this was the best way to kind of capitalize on this growing popularity that not only Karrion Kross has, but also the feud in general has. This is a good way to get Sami Zayn, who is one of the most over superstars in Saudi Arabia at the moment, on the Saudi Arabia Night of Champions card. So we got Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is obviously, he's been a devil on the shoulder of Sami Zayn the past few months. He's been a flea in the ear of Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn wants to get rid of him once and for all, and I feel like this is where the rivalry, if you want to call it that, the feud, this is where it ends at Night of Champions. Karrion Kross, he's gaining a lot of popularity, and if you want that popularity to get better, if you want his momentum to stay where it's at, this is how you do it. Putting him on a pay-per-view match in Saudi Arabia against Sami Zayn. I'm not too excited for this match personally. I don't see the appeal to Karrion Kross. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the people that are a fan of Karrion Kross. However, I just feel like this match is not as hype as, every other match on the card, in my personal opinion at least. So that's not to say it's going to be a bad match. I think it's going to be a great little end to the rivalry here. But like it's just like not really. I'm not feeling it personally. With that being said, I do have Sami Zayn picking up the W against Karrion Kross. I feel like once Sami Zayn picks up the W against the person that's been telling him he's a liar, he's never winning the championship, I feel like Sami Zayn picking up a win against that person in Saudi Arabia will start his momentum to potentially winning the Royal Rumble or potentially winning the Elimination Chamber next year, to challenge and win the World Championship. Because I do believe that Sami Zayn, once he starts gaining momentum this year, is going to lead into a potential Royal Rumble win or Elimination Chamber win, and he wins the championship next year. And to do that, I feel like the perfect catapult for this would be if he pins Karrion Kross, who's been one of the biggest haters, I guess you can say, of Sami Zayn in the past few months. So I see Sami Zayn picking up the win against Karrion Kross and starting his momentum to get to the main event level once again. Next up, we have Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight. Obviously, Raquel Rodriguez lost her partner in Liv Morgan because Liv Morgan is unfortunately injured, and Raquel Rodriguez, one half of the tag team champions, is going against Rhea Ripley, who've kind of had some bad blood over the past few weeks, and they're settling it in a street fight. This is where I believe the storyline for Evolution does start to pick up steam. I feel like Roxanne Perez can very well help Raquel Rodriguez win against Rhea Ripley, and also because of that win, also become the tag team champion with Raquel Rodriguez. I could 100% see that. I could see Rhea Ripley potentially starting a rivalry between, trying to find a partner to take on Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez for the tag team championships at Evolution 2. There's a bunch of routes this match could lead to, but I definitely think it's going to lead to a route in general. I don't think this match is happening for nothing. It's a street fight, meaning there's no disqualification whatsoever. So I think the best bet anyone could make about this match is Roxanne Perez helps Raquel Rodriguez win the match, because I believe that's what's going to happen. I think Raquel actually does pick up the upset against Rhea Ripley in the street fight, and does pick up the win with the help of Roxanne Perez, and this will cause Rhea Ripley to look high and low for a tag team partner to take on Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez at Evolution 2. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Raquel Rodriguez taking the W in the street fight against Rhea Ripley. Next up, we got the United States Championship match, including Jacob Fatu, who is the current U.S. champion, taking on Solo Sikoa. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to restate it now because I believe this is still the plan. I believe Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa is a summer-long feud. This is not going to be their last match in the slightest. I believe something happens in this match that causes a rematch to occur. Whether it's in favor of Solo Sikoa or whether it's in favor of Jacob Fatu, there's a bunch of ways this can go, and I'm going to break them down and then say what I believe will happen. I believe that Solo Sikoa will debut a new member of the Bloodline alongside JC Mateo in an attempt to dethrone Jacob Fatu for the U.S. Championship, and I feel like even though Jacob Fatu does have Jimmy Uso on his side, I don't think it's going to be enough to take out both JC Mateo and the new Bloodline member. So I believe that Solo Sikoa does win the U.S. Championship match. Jacob Fatu, obviously he hates Solo Sikoa now. Solo Sikoa wants to put an end to Jacob Fatu and capture the United States Championship after Jacob Fatu costed him the Money in the Bank briefcase. And I feel like Solo Sikoa is going to pull out all his stops, including introducing, as I said before, a new Bloodline member alongside JC Mateo to take out Jacob Fatu and ultimately win the United States Championship. I know I said before that Jacob Fatu is an unstoppable force that no one's going to pin. The only way someone's taking that title off Jacob Fatu if they take it off his cold dead body, but I feel like just the way this match has been built, the way this match progressed, Solo Sikoa needs a good momentum boost. He needs a good win, and what better win than against one of the most over superstars at the moment in Jacob Fatu for the U.S. Championship, giving him his first solo championship on the main roster. Obviously, he's not going to do it clean. No heel ever does. He's going to introduce a new member of the Bloodline to continue that story on throughout the summer, while also still making Jacob Fatu look strong, and also, of course, having Solo Sikoa look strong and winning the championship off Jacob Fatu. So, next up, we got Jade Cargill versus Asuka in the Queen of the Ring final. These two faced off on SmackDown, and it was pretty hype. The crowd was obviously in favor of Asuka more than Jade Cargill. However, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like Jade Cargill does pick up the win against Asuka. Asuka's returning from injury, and she's been gaining momentum, gaining, cheers left and right. She's on an absolute roll right now. An absolute roll. However, Jade Cargill is also on a roll. She hasn't lost in a while. Asuka obviously has not lost in a while. These two, it's going to come down to who wants it more. And at the end of the day, I feel like Jade Cargill, storyline-wise and also just common sense-wise, Jade Cargill winning the Queen of the Ring final and challenging Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam is the way to go. Although I do believe Asuka and Io Sky will face off eventually, Jade Cargill winning the Queen of the Ring final and facing Tiffany Stratton and having, the storyline with Naomi and how she has a briefcase and may potentially cash in on Jade Cargill or Tiffany Stratton during their SummerSlam match just makes sense more storyline-wise. So I'm going to go with Jade Cargill to pick up the win and continue her momentum into SummerSlam. Next up, we got Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the King of the Ring final. This was a match that is long overdue. That should have happened a long time ago, but the hype has finally paid off because they're facing off two baby faces in the King of the Ring final. Some could argue two of the most over baby faces in the entire company, and they're facing it off. Of course, they're both faces. I do believe this will eventually lead to one of the two turning heel eventually, maybe even during or at the end of this match. I'm leaning more towards Cody Rhodes winning the King of the Ring final and Randy Orton turning heel on Cody Rhodes at the end of it, or maybe down the line before SummerSlam. That's what I believe will happen. Cody Rhodes he's too popular. He has too much momentum going on for him right now where he could just lose like that. So I'm gonna go with Cody Rhodes to defeat Randy Orton clean in the King of the Ring final, and that will set Randy Orton off and have him turn heel, because I believe that's the route they're going with. Randy Orton turns heel after Cody Rhodes gets another shot at the Undisputed WWE Championship match, even though Randy Orton doesn't get another shot at the Undisputed WWE Championship match, despite losing in a not so fair way. So that's why I believe it's going to happen. But the main thing we have to focus on right now is Cody Rhodes winning the King of the Ring final. And finally, we have a rivalry. Some could argue John Cena's best rival of all time, CM Punk, and they're going at it for the Undisputed WWE Championship. A rivalry renewed, John Cena versus CM Punk. That promo, that segment between CM Punk and John Cena on SmackDown was cinema. Brilliant. I loved it. If you guys haven't seen it, trust me, it's a 10 out of 10 promo. Completely blows out John Cena's pipe bomb, in my opinion at least. Point is, we got them going at it one last time for the Undisputed WWE Championship match in Saudi Arabia. John Cena forced CM Punk to go into Saudi Arabia and become a hypocrite if he wanted that WWE Championship match. So that's what's going to go down tomorrow. It's going to be the main event. It's going to be hype. John Cena versus CM Punk. Oh my god, I just even saying that out loud, like after all these years, is kind of crazy if you think about it. But yeah, we're going to be seeing them go at it. Of course, this time around, John Cena is a heel and CM Punk is a face, which usually it's not the case. But you know, just like the Randy Orton match, just like the R-Truth match, that's the case. So, who do I believe is going to win? I believe that John Cena does pick up the win against CM Punk. Again, I just don't see John Cena losing on any stage that isn't called SummerSlam or WrestleMania, and I don't see John Cena especially losing to CM Punk in Saudi Arabia. It's not going to happen. I could see CM Punk potentially inserting himself into the match against John Cena and Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam to make it a triple threat match. I could 100% see that because, you know, John Cena and Cody Rhodes kind of already faced off one-on-one already. So just adding CM Punk into that SummerSlam match can potentially add more hype to it and, you know, all that stuff. Because, again, I just don't see CM Punk leaving that John Cena storyline at all after losing, right? This is still June. We still have 6 months left. CM Punk's going to be a huge part of the John Cena storyline. Much like R-Truth right now, you know, he got brought back during Money in the Bank. And he still wants John Cena. That's how I feel like CM Punk's going to be. And maybe even potentially Randy Orton. I could also see Randy Orton potentially being inserted into that SummerSlam match. Maybe even R-Truth inserted into that SummerSlam match. A bunch of different routes this could go. But at the end of the day, John Cena winning retaining the Undisputed WWE Championship is the right move to cap off their rivalry. So that's who I believe is going to win. Anyways, that's my predictions. I know it's short, but I got to get this edited. I got to get this out before tomorrow. So if you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.